Hey everybody, I'm Chuck Singleton. I'm the General Manager at WFUV. Thank you so much. This is a tremendous reunion for all of us tonight at WFUV as well as you, and it's great to see so many of our tremendous alums here. So we think we're going to have a fantastic night tonight. I want to welcome you all and say thanks for supporting One-on-One's 40th anniversary bash. Tonight, we honor both the show and also a gentleman who's had a huge impact on generations of our students. In the process, he's also shaped many of the great voices in sports radio, especially here in New York. Of course, that's Bob Ahrens. We have a room full of sportscasting's leading lights, and we're proud to call you FUV and Fordham alums. And joining you, many of today's outstanding WFUV students. You'll see them scattered around the room this evening, mixing this and shooting the evening. So let's hear it for them. I'd like to acknowledge a few of our biggest boosters and supporters at Fordham University, starting with the University Provost, Dr. Stephen Friedman. He'll be joining us shortly, and will also be sharing a few words with us in just a little bit. Also, his Assistant Vice President and Chief of Staff, the great Ellen Fahey Smith. And the terrific new chair of Communication and Media Studies, Dr. Jacqueline Reich. And I just want to say this up front, and you're probably going to hear it a number of times tonight, but none of this would be happening this evening without the hard work of Linda Duhame-Candeas, from start to finish. This is just a tremendous expression of love on Linda's part, working closely with Bobby Chiafardini and the talented core of students at the station today that you see in this room. So go ahead, it's okay to apply. So they've put together one incredible evening for all of us to enjoy, and they deserve our sincere appreciation. Now I'm pleased to introduce our MC, Darwin Zook. You'll hear him at MLB.com, and he's also been on the New England Sports Network, as well as doing basketball and football play-by-play for ESPN and MSG in New York. He's been an on-air host for NBC, ESPN, and Yahoo Sports. And I gotta say, they're just like all of the rest of our alums who are sitting in this room. It takes 5 minutes to describe their accomplishments, which is incredible. Darwin's also played and coached ball, including baseball at UC Santa Cruz and semi-pro football, so he knows it from the other side. And if that's not enough, he was a contestant on NBC's Love in the Wild, and the co-host of Comedy Central's Drunk History Across America. But at FUV, we know him as a great member of the class of 2001. So now back in New York City, after a misguided stint in Boston, please welcome Darwin Zook.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Thanks. Wow. For a while there, I thought we were going through Mike Breen's resume of MSG, because I think we added some things in there, but that's okay. I'll take it. Thank you, Chuck. The Love in the Wild thing, unfortunately, is true, so I have to go by that. But what an honor it is to be here, and overwhelming in some ways to be able to come back to New York. I'm a native Bostonian, so I feel like I'm a little bit on enemy turf here today, so try and keep the booing away a little bit. But if Derek Jeter can get cheered and get a standing ovation at Fenway Park, then we can be friends here today. So that's kind of a nice, nice relaxing thing for me, because when I was at Fordham in 1997, nervous as all heck in Yankee Stadium locker room, never had really interviewed anyone other than a high school player after a game. When I walk in there and you see Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte and all these guys, you're pretty overwhelmed in the moment, but once I was able to settle down and realize they were actually people, it actually made me realize that, okay, Yankees, Red Sox, we can all get along. And I feel like the friendships that already exist in this room from people that have been here and gone through the one-on-one program that have taught at Fordham is pretty remarkable. And that's what makes me feel that much more special to be able to be up here in front of you guys, because there is that bond, that connection that is automatically felt from having been at Fordham, gone through WFUV, and my journey was quite odd, and you heard some of the things right there that Chuck was mentioning. But to come back now after all these years is a humbling experience for sure for me. Again, I want to echo Chuck's words in saying thank you to Linda Duhame for organizing this event and for asking me, along with others, to come up here and do this. And to the students, because I was once a student at Fordham, and to help out with all the events that would come about, to be able to do the camera work, the tables, all the little work that goes into making a big event is really, shouldn't be underestimated. And so thank you guys for doing all that, absolutely. A lot has changed since I was at Fordham in '97. I went back recently to Fordham to do a football game as a demo because I'm trying to get back into broadcasting. So I went there and I wore what I wore in '97, which wasn't a suit, and I was very out of place. Apparently people wear suits, Tony. Yeah, it's like all the games now. Everyone who's doing play-by-play, the spotters were wearing suits. It was amazing, even the spotters for the football game. And I was saying, wow, when I was there, Reali wore a Hawaiian shirt, I think, a couple times to do play-by-play. So that part has certainly changed over the years. We had cassette tapes back then when we would listen with the late, great Marty Glickman to dissect our play-by-play. Marty, of course, passed away, and he would love to be able to be here today and to be able to honor Bob Ahrens. Bob, for me, it's a unique relationship in that I didn't graduate from Fordham. I left after 3 years from Fordham and decided to go and play basketball and do other things. And I did play-by-play and hosted one-on-one and was with Tony and Spiro and Andrew Bogish and all these guys. And Bob, instead of saying, "What the hell are you doing? Why would you leave this?" he was as loyal a friend as I could ever have. And for that, a lot of people know him as a professional, a hard worker, a good leader, but I know him as just a great and loyal friend as well. And that's one of the ways I look at Bob right now, too, is just the way he conducts himself. Having met Bob at 17 years old, now half my life later, 34, when I decided to get back into broadcasting a couple years ago, Bob was the first person that was willing to help me and actually help me get my job at MLB.com now. And I think that's, in a world sometimes where there isn't a lot of loyalty, I feel there's a lot of loyalty in this room, and it's not exemplified more than it is with Bob Ahrens. And that's special to me. I just want to add a couple more things about Bob Ahrens, who's just so important to what one-on-one is. Bob got there in January of 1997. I was there in the fall of '97 as a freshman at 17, and Bob had been there a few months, and one-on-one already existed. It was an important entity for sure, but what Bob has done in the last 17 years is remarkable, elevating it to the status that it has now. This night would not exist without what Bob has done. And that's just amazing, because he has been able to bring people through the program at one-on-one that then can immediately be successful in this industry that, as everyone knows, is so highly competitive. Tony Reali, Connell McShane, Spiro Ditas, Andrew Bogish, these are just guys when I was there that are now so successful. And now there's a new generation. And before those guys, there's a past generation. But since Bob has got there, the status that one-on-one has, I just go out and have been a basketball coach and other things I've done, and people say, oh, you were at Fordham once? You were at one-on-one? Yeah, you guys have play-by-play. What a program you have there. What a show. I've heard it passing through New York. And on FM radio, how many schools have that? And Bob has brought it to the point where the guests that he gets on and the friends he has, like Vin Scully and legends in the business, Mike Breen, Michael Kay, these people that some are here tonight and presenting. You won't find that anywhere else in the country. And Bob Ahrens, that's a credit to you and who you are and the friendships you have.